Okay, so I just finished Cobra Kai season 3, and I know this one took longer than usual, but it's because another film got in the way, so I watched that first in between episodes. But anyway, yeah, I just finished it. You know, it took me over a week, sadly, but it's fine. I'm here now, and I'm reviewing it. It's a lot to work. It's a lot to watch, man. It's a whole season of 30 to 40-minute episodes. Anyway, characters. So I feel like I gotta talk about multiple characters together, since a lot of them. I'm gonna get this shirt in here. Okay, since a lot of characters are basically one. So like, here's the first one. I'll go through them. Miguel and Johnny are basically one character, especially in this season. So I gotta talk about them together, because their relationship is really tested in this season. And also, yeah. So, you know, Miguel wakes up from his coma, and friggin' Johnny Jesus Christ Lawrence heals. I mean, he is God, basically. He's a prophet. He heals, he just cures autism. He tells Hawk to get off of that immediately. He cures asthma, and he teaches somebody how to walk. But yeah, so eventually teaches, he helps Miguel get back on his feet, literally. And yeah, so their relationship is really built in this season, and yeah, there's a lot of great stuff with those two, and a lot of great stuff with them individually too. Okay, so now Miguel and Samantha Larusso, they get back together again. Samantha's dealing with, I guess, PTSD from her events of Tori, though I understand the PTSD part, but I don't understand why she's so scared of Tori. She won. I get the trauma. Anybody would be traumatized by that. Someone tried to kill you. But the fact that she's scared of her, I don't quite understand. You beat her. You won. But anyway, that's not important. But yeah, she's scared of her, but then eventually she wins. And, I think that's a perfect segue. Well, let's go into Daniel LaRusso before we get to, like, Tori and that, because he's also important. This season, he stops karate because his wife told him to, but then eventually he gets back into it after he sees what's, the stakes that John Kreese is bringing up. And John Kreese in this season is great. I think I want to save him for last, since he's probably the greatest of all the characters in this season. Tori Nichols is also back. She's a lot less insufferable than in the last season, but still kind of a meanie-head. But again, if anybody says he's insufferable, that means Peyton List did a good job, because that was the whole point of her character in the second season. She's kind of supposed to be insufferable, but in this season she's a little bit better. Again, she still has points about everything. Gotta fight for everything that's ours, because that was last season, but I don't really know any points she makes, but she always does what's good. Gotta fight to survive. Kumite. I gotta review that movie at some point. So anyway, Tori, yeah, she starts getting a bit of not really development yet. She's not really slowly turning into a good guy this season. Not quite yet. I think that's next season where she starts slowly morphing. But then Hawk and Dimitri are back in this season. Dimitri's still a little bit annoying, but he's a little more mild on his annoyance in this season than he was in the first two. And honestly, from here all the way to season 6, part 1, I think he's pretty decent. He's occasionally annoying, but he's Dimitri. That comes in the package. That comes in the Dimitri package. He's a little bit annoying at all times. But I think from this season on to season 6, part 1, he's a little less annoying. And then after season 6, part 2, I think. Well, he's not. He kind of takes it back. Season part 3, but we gotta wait for that. We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, Dimitri, he's fine this season. But Hawk is badass in this season. This is like peak Hawk character, and this is the bad Hawk, but this is a peak bad Hawk too. Like, this is just, yeah. There's this really great scene it's either that scenes. Well, there's a couple of great scenes. I think I want to shout out to 2 scenes. Actually, probably 3. So there's this one scene where Kreese has set up this little board with. Oh hell yeah! I just saw an episode of a show I watched just to get uploaded. I gotta watch that after this. Anyway, there's a plank thing, like a giant log or something, with a tree pot on top. And, he tells them to knock it down. And, well, 2 guys try to kick it off the top. They try to, kick it off the top. But Hawk's like, I'll try. And then, Kreese is like, well, what are you waiting for? And then, he kicks the board, and, well, it falls off. And it's like, he just said to knock it down. He just said to knock it off, not how to do it. But anyway, and then there's another scene where, so, the bullies, so Kyler and his one friend, I don't remember his name, looks like a fatter Dustin from Stranger Things. So, so they join Cobra Kai, and, so Kyler kicks Penis Breath's ass, or Ass Face, I'm gonna call him Ass Face is better. But Penis Breath is good too. Ass Face gets his ass kicked by Kyler, and then, he gets banned from the dojo, but then the other kid goes up, and Hawk says, I'll take him. And Hawk just beats him, like, he pulls on his hood at some point, and he's just toying with him, and then, he has him on the ground, he's over him, and, before, Kreese can even say, finish him, it's like, finish him, he's punching him already. I think he even switched his hands. I don't know if I, switch in just perspective, but I think it's, switching hands, because each shot he's punching with a different hand, and he just beats the ever-living crap out of him. Apparently, he knocks out his teeth, too, according to the same person in later, he says later that, he knocked out most of his teeth. But, which is just great, yeah, and it's like, that's so great. Honestly, I think it would have been nicer, if in the when they talk to each other next, what I would have wanted, I think they kind of do this, but not quite. It's like, Hawk's like, I'm sorry for beating you up, man, and I think the guy should have says, no, man, I kind of deserved it. I was a dick to you, but I think all he says is, nah, man, it's all good, it's all in the past, which is fine, but I just would have preferred, I was in the wrong, and you're right, you were mad, obviously, because I bullied you, but anyway, Amanda Larusso's back. She's not really that important in this season, or any other season, really. She's still important, though. She's still there, and finally she's there in the back of Daniel, on Daniel's side for once. And whenever Daniel is upsetting her, I think all times, not most of the time, I was about to say most of the time, but I think at all times, every time she's mad at him, I would be too. Every time. Because it's like, dude, stop. You're being a dummy. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone I want to talk about for John Kreese. I don't want to miss John Kreese. Oh, there's a few cameos in this. Quite a few. I gotta get through these. So Daniel goes to Okinawa and he meets Kumiko again. Just highly low circumstance. This is coming in very well. Very low circumstance, and very low chances. And yeah, Kumiko's back, and she's the same old woman. And then Chosen comes back, and he's all pissed at Daniel. And I like to just imagine. I know probably he was just acting, but I like to imagine he's just pissed off at something completely unrelated, someone pissed in his tea that morning or something. Yeah, he's just pissed for no reason relating to Daniel. He is just mad because he tripped over in the mud that morning. I gotta get a new shirt. Damn it. But yeah, Chosen, he's great, and he'll be one of my favorite characters in the other seasons. And he teaches Daniel a certain very important move, the finisher move in this, which is pretty good. This ain't no crane, but it's definitely a good move that I think everybody, if it was real, everybody would use it in every single fight. Why wouldn't you? But I feel like they should have made a reason why you wouldn't. I don't know, it dispenses a lot of energy, or something like that. But yeah, and also the last cameo is Allie Mills from the original Karate Kid, or Allie Mills Schwarber, ex-Schwarber actually. So yeah, he sent her a message in Cobra Kai in the last season, and she sent him a friend request. And so then it goes from there for a little bit. They talk, and yeah, she's in town for the holidays, and so they have a nice little lunch. And they go to golf and stuff, and they almost kiss, but Johnny's got a thing. Oh yeah, very important. Johnny's got a thing going with Carmen now. They even Bam Bam. They even Bam Bam at the end of episode 9. Yeah. Or is it 8? It's 8. Because 9. Yeah, 8 is the good, the bad, and the badass. And 9 is... Yeah, okay. Yeah, 9's the one where Mills returns. Because, okay. Okay. So, yeah, and then they go to this country club. And... Daniel and Johnny, and she's like, oh, you go, like, oh, so, and they start pissing in each other's cup, they start just throwing shit at each other. It's like, oh, so I'm assuming this is not the first time you've run into each other since high school. And like, we've ran into each other a few times, and Daniel's just like, one or two, just one or two, just a few times, not anything significant. Like the same amount of times these two run into each other, Kong and Scar King, which is like 3 times. Just a few times. But yeah, and they have this whole conversation. You can get to learn what happened with Daniel and Allie, and it turns out Daniel was lying about basically everything. He the whole thing with the football guy was completely misunderstanding, and Allie did not destroy that car. It was Allie. Well, no, it was Daniel. Because she said, yeah, I knew that thing's brakes was going to go out. And I hope you didn't tell me, Mr. Miyagi, that I broke it. I was like, no, absolutely not. No. Of course I wouldn't. Of course not. Of course not. Of course, why would I even... Why would I even? But, so yeah, that is great. Anyway, let's talk about the character I wanted to save for last, because he is great in this season. John Kreese. This is kind of where John Kreese peaks, and that doesn't mean, like, he's bad in the other seasons or anything. And he's still great in all of the seasons, except for season 5 a little bit. He gets a little silly, and part 1 and 2 is season 6. Or part 1 is season 6 mainly. But yeah, he's kind of great. Let's see what you learn. You learn about a lot about John Kreese's origins and why he is the way he is today. What you kind of learn what made John Kreese such a mean cuss. And yeah, so what you see his you see his Vietnam years, but you even see before Vietnam. So he meets this girl, and he fights these two, like, football guys she's with. And it's like, usually when it's, like, the first fight of the person in the timeline, they get their ass kicked. But not Kreese. No, he kicks their ass. He's like, I've been fighting my whole life. I ain't afraid of you. And it's like, yeah, it's badass. And, like, and also, I gotta, like, commend the actor. The actor who played John Kreese, the young John Kreese, did a pretty good job, I gotta say, at what he needed to do. It's not quite, I don't know, the thing is, though, is when he's in the war, when he should be looking exactly like Martin Cove. I mean, just imagine this Martin Cove, come on. You can imagine. I think what they should have done at some point is, like, have the picture taken. The one picture of John Kreese and that he always has displayed in his dojo. That one picture would be taken, and it's just like, you got the young John Kreese, the young actor, and, like, the picture gets taken and you transition into the Martin Cove version. I think that would have been nice. I love to see that, but whatever. So yeah, and so he goes to Vietnam. He meets this captain who is just the worst captain on the planet. Like, he sucks. Like, so they go out for this mission. He trained, and the captain teaches him how to fight. A little bit. Yeah, he teaches him how to fight, and yeah, he teaches them a bit of that karate, that no mercy karate, and then so they go out. Kreese fails to blow something up because he doesn't want his ponytail friend to die. And the show totally wants you to think that the ponytail guy is Terry Silver. But then he gets shot in the head, and it turns out someone else is Silver, a guy named Twig, or nicknamed Twig. And yeah, so yeah, they totally wanted to subvert your expectations, and they did. I remember they did that for me. I remember I was like, oh yeah, that ponytail guy's totally Silver. Then he gets shot in the head. I'm like, oh, it's not. Okay. So yeah, and Captain's like just a dick. He's just blaming Kreese. He's like, look at what you did. And like, and then they're in this little cage, and they, Dugan and this other guy, or at least presumably Dugan, and this other guy fight over this pit, and, you know, he throws one. Yeah, I think one of those guys is supposed to be Dugan. And, you know, I believe it, so I'm just gonna call that guy Dugan. He's like, Dugan. I'm like, whoa, what happened? And he's like, I did what I had to. It's like, how deep is the pit? Deep enough. But that's not the worst part. Yeah, so then, and then, like, you know, the Vietnamese people, the soldiers come into the cage, and it's like, you know, they grab the captain, and they're about to get Silver, but then, you know, Kreese stands up and is like, I'll do it. Anyway, but, like, the captain sucks in this, and he's like, yeah, this is where it ends, man. And he tries to, like, demotivate him by telling him that his girlfriend died in a car crash around a tree. And let's just say it works in the exact opposite way that the captain wanted it to, you know. Okay, good, you can't see that part of the wall. It's yucky. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't work quite the way he wants. So, yeah, they fight, and, like, he just lifts, and he just, yeah, and they fight, and, like, you know, Kreese is about to be beat, but he grabs this piece off the bridge and just stabs the guy in the leg, and then, you know, Kreese gets the upper hand, the guy's hanging off, and then the military comes in and blows everything up. You know, one of the explosions is so strong that it knocks over the cameraman, or just the camera that they set up. And then, like, yeah, and the captain has the gall to just be like, Kreese, help me up! Come on, Kreese, that's an order! It's like, do you really think he's gonna let you up? No. Like, Kreese is like, you know, I didn't take your lessons to heart. I'll never make that mistake again. No mercy. And then he, you know, steps on his hand, and the guy falls to his death. Also, the pit is, like, the most Hollywood thing ever. It's a pit, a pretty deep pit, filled with snakes. Hollywood, man. That's, like, so Hollywood. The snake pit. I just want a good old gorilla pit, or snake pit. Anyway, so, yeah, and, yeah, Kreese's, evilness or badness, he's not evil, he's very not evil. Someone else is. But yeah, he's definitely, yeah, he definitely gets a lot more context. Anyway, this is getting quite a long episode. I just had so much to talk about, especially with Kreese's, and so many characters and Kreese's backstory, especially, too. Anyway, so what do I think of this show overall, this season overall? It's one of the best seasons, honestly. Like, it ranks, like, honestly, I don't know, what did I give the original season? I think I give it an 8 out of 10. I think I'm going to stay with that. This one gets a 9 out of 10, I think. And maybe I'll bump up the original season to an 8.5, because it's not that far below. And maybe even 8.75. Like, they're really close on that. And I think I'm hoping, if I didn't, this will be a retroactively thing. I'll give season 2 7 out of 10. But yeah, this season is just great. It's one of the best. I mean, it has one of the best trailers, too. Just go look out Cobra Kai Season 3 trailer. And then, if you haven't watched it already, or if you have, just go watch it. It's a great season. Just go watch the whole show. Again, like, you know what? You go watch Season 4. Or if you haven't been watching, go watch all the first 3 seasons, and then watch Season 4, and when you're done with that, watch my review. Or don't. I don't really care. But yeah, it's a solid 9 out of 10. It's just a great season. There's so much great references. Oh, Oh, there's another cameo I forgot. This is just a little tiny one, so I'm not mad that I forgot about John, but I did it after John Kreese. So you know the girl that Daniel saves from the hurricane in Karate Kid 2? Yeah, she appears in this season, and like, you know, and oh yeah, Tom Cole, he has a little bit of problem with Tom Cole and his business, since his business is kind of going down because of the karate thing, which really wouldn't, but it makes a good conflict, so I'm glad they did that, even though it really it's not realistic, but it's a good avenue, it's a good little conflict between him and Tom Cole. So Tom Cole tries to buy it, but then he goes to Japan, to Dayona, one of the car companies, and it turns out the girl he saved from the hurricane is like the international communicator, and she's like, I'm here to save your business. And yeah, he gets his Larusso auto gets saved by the girl he saved in Karate Kid 2, which is, it's great. It's like, it's surprising they didn't get like certain characters. It's like, because they got everyone. And from the first 3 films at least. Even characters you wouldn't even think of beforehand. But yeah, that's my ranking. It's 9 out of 10, and I think that's about it. That is all for this time. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you next time.